Okay, better late than never. I'm giving my late recap of WrestleMania 40. Sorry, people, been busy. To whoever's listening. Disclaimer, I'm going to leave out the two main events. You know, they were where I expected them to be, minus Austin. And, you know, we found out why. I mean, well, we didn't completely, but it was some sort of commitment that he couldn't make it. So I'm not going to even go too deep in that. Everyone else already done it. I'm going to do my list in different fashion, kind of based on the stuff that I like, and cap it off in a way that's going to lead into the next episode that I'm going to do, or next two. Anyhow, the match that I was the most surprised with was Gunther versus Sami Zayn. And I know when I did the earlier breakdown, I was critiquing just Sami's music, but now after that match, I'm definitely saying, you know, put more respect on Sami Zayn's name. The only thing that I didn't like, I mean, it just really surprised me how good it was. I really wasn't expecting it to be that good. But the only negative that I would say about that match was when they did the cutaway to a one too many, but they were cutting away to Sami's wife, and she looked at Gunther and she said, "You're over, you're finished." And I thought that was too much, and that was, you know, to me like a tell, even though you knew that more than likely he was going to end up winning, you know, but it could have gone either way. But yeah, that was the only takeaway. This, you know, I guess my anal retentiveness of, you know, watching a match. But other than that, I really enjoyed that match a lot. And now it's just about who are they going to continue to match him up with high level talent. I think someone like Ilya Dragunov would be really, really good for Sami. Okay, the Usos. Boy, did I have expectations on that one, and that was a letdown. And the good thing is that Jay did a recent interview, I think the podcast or the show was Gorilla Position, and he had admitted, and by the way, I'm outside, he had admitted that, you know, they didn't do their best because of time constraints, and things kept getting changed, so they had to make with what, you know, was due. But yeah, that should have been the banger. The 6-women tag match, we pretty much knew who the winners were. The one thing that I will say, as I was composing everything together, was that when you look at all 6 women, they all kind of, I mean, because, you know, now, especially with the new logo, they're trying to be, you know, this whole like Marvel-esque universe with WWE. Those 6 women were the only ones that I can recall that really embodied superheroes. The way that Naomi, Bianca, and Jade came up in the show, that looked like a comic book. And in my brain, I'm like, damn, WWE should step up and have someone draw a comic book just on those 3 characters. I mean, I guess they could also do the same thing for the Kabuki Warriors, but for those 3, yeah, I think that's, you know, their entrance was comic book worthy. Their style, the way they were dressed, everything. So they all did actually very good. That was a good match, but I mean, you know what it was. The Philly street fight was actually better than what I thought it was. It would have been nice if Cross didn't get pinned, unless it was going to lead to him and Bobby Lashley, but so far I don't see that. So anyway, the ladder tag was exactly what I thought it would be. The only thing I can say is I'm happy for Truth. I didn't know that whole WrestleMania history with him. That's awesome that he got a title. And he got it with Miz, which is, you know, Miz is my man. I'm looking at my notes. Oh, I also thought what he did on Raw when he got the new titles, that was fucking hilarious. AJ, LA Knight was what it was. I knew that, you know, Israeli setting up to put LA Knight over, and it's kind of cool, at least as of now, that his character is actually taking the back seat. But then again, they had a rematch and he lost. So AJ now stepping up to, of course, go up against Cody. The KO, Randy Orton, Logan Paul. My feelings on that were, I told you it was goofy, and now you see, because what I said in the WrestleMania, in the early WrestleMania I told you that they were acting too buddy-buddy to be going up against Logan Paul, right? They could have slid in someone else and gave someone else a push. And now what do you see them doing? Tag teaming now against the Samoan faction, the Bloodline. So, yeah, it is what it is. I was glad for the Battle Royal. I always say Jonah because that's why I know him as more so now since he left. But I'm glad that Bronson Reed won that. It was cool that they could put a little respect on his name. He'd be a good winner for King of the Ring. My focus right now is more of Queen of the Ring, but that's a subject for another time. As I stated, I left this one for last because this is going to be a to be continued. And for anyone that dares to listen to this episode, just as a FYI primer, I would suggest go back and go listen to my, I think it's the WrestleMania one, or it might be the one prior to it, a few episodes back when I discussed the Becky, Nia, Rhea situation. Because I'm going to do another follow-up because I actually, in my opinion, thought I nailed it on the head. That match was what it was. I still thought the Rhea, Nia match was a little bit better, but Becky didn't let me down. The word was that she was sick, but sometimes things get exaggerated, like somebody being 6'4" when they're really 6'1", 6'2". But that match for opener was cool. It wasn't really an opener, per se, where you're like, okay, beat this, because that was Sammy Gunther for that night. But I heard that Becky is the one that wanted that match first, and it could have been because she was under the weather. But that's my quick recap on WrestleMania 40, and look out for my Queen of the Ring take that's going to drop soon, and the whole Rhea Ripley incident, Becky, blah, 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 cooking. I'm out.